When you're talking about demonize, you're not necessarily talking about possess. You're talking
Right.
about, or is there a difference? Or can you talk about
Well,
that?
there's no such thing as possessed.
Okay.
In the Greek, you don't ever see the word possess. It'll just say demonizai, which is demonized, or had an unclean spirit, which is not the same as possessed. Um, so that's an unfortunate, and this is Wimber 101. That's an unfortunate translation issue. So the translators into English see somebody who was heavily demonized, and so they'll use the word possessed. Almost all translations, English translations, use the word possessed. There's only one or two that don't, but it's an inaccuracy. So the question, is someone possessed, is a non-biblical question, because scripturally people have demons or they don't have demons.
So you're thinking the differentiator between English possess, like we're thinking that they own you versus
Right.
you, they don't actually ever
Right.
own.
Yeah, and so what I think the scriptures are teaching is that demons don't own anybody.
Mm.
That we have free will. We own ourselves, and we make our own decisions. We can give ourselves to God. We can give ourselves to evil, and therefore demons. And all of us do a little bit of both. When you give yourself to God, you could say God possesses you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, I feel like the Bible talks about that in a possession too. Like we owe him. Like this is
Yeah.
his
Well,
slave, right?
that's a Tozer term. The idea is you want to be more possessed by God.
Yeah.
But the reality is God, yeah, which is like what? But the reality is uh, we belong to God to the degree that we give ourselves to Him,
Mm.
and so Paul refers to himself as a slave of Christ. He's a willing slave.
Yeah.
Nobody's forced.
Yeah.
And so I really believe that we're in charge of ourselves. Now, most of us don't live like we're in charge of ourselves. Most of us have a hook in our nose and we're being dragged here and there. And of course, some of us think we're in charge when we're clearly not. you know, we're deluded because there's
What
so.
about the extreme example in my mind, since we love talking extremes, right? Of like someone like a sex slave worker, right? Because they don't have any charge over themselves, right? Like they
Well,
are being
they
pushed
do,
into.
but they don't know it. I mean, they can. You always can choose what you don't think you have a choice.
Like you
And
can choose death, I guess, in that
yeah,
case.
or escape. Yeah, but in a very real way, their freedom is limited, obviously, and that's
Okay.
how it is with people who experience demonization.
Mm-hmm.
Your freedom is severely limited. You don't know the freedom you have, and I don't think you truly have freedom unless you have something greater than the demon, which of course is Jesus. Jesus came to set the captives free.
Well, the strong man, right, is what
Yeah, I think that's what his
the
parable meant. Is he bound that guy on the cross? He actually bound him before the cross because he didn't wait until after the crucifixion and resurrection to do deliverances. The kingdom, part of the kingdom is the authority over demons. It says in First John, Christ came to destroy the works of the devil, and so that's what he did. Yeah, when we pair with Jesus, we now have authority over demons because Jesus is authority over demons. That's part of the good news of the message of the kingdom is there's a king who is here now, who reigns. And part of the way we know he reigns is he reigns over sin, he reigns over sickness, he reigns over demons. And so as we can get free from if using and we just saw Sound of Freedom, by the way, Jim Caviezel. Have you seen that movie? Boy, yeah, it's a movie you kind of don't want to see, but you do want to see, and I highly recommend it. Now it's kind of like the subject of demons and deliverance. It's like you want to do it, but you don't want to do it. No, we all have a level of freedom, and as we pair with Christ, then we automatically the dominoes begin to fall for our deliverance, for our demonization. Mm-hmm. We begin getting free immediately. We think differently, and so our range of freedom increases. You know, follow the truth will make you free. So, connection to Jesus means deliverance from sin and deliverance from attendant demons.
Yeah.
We don't even have to have a theology for demons. Following Jesus, that's what happens automatically.
Because he's cleaning it either way.
Yeah, I mean, we just follow him and connect to him, and we begin to get free.
So I hope to articulate this question well, and you'll be able to understand it because of your background. So Jay Pathak has talked about the theology of healing and mostly the reason for healing is to show glimpses of the kingdom of God. Is kind of paraphrasing is what he's saying. It's not, obviously God, Jesus cares about us, but it's not really to make us well. Like, because everybody dies anyways, like
Right. Well,
die
it
again.
is to make us well, because that's what he saved us so that we could be well in eternity.
Fresh on me, come wake me from my sleep.